All right, finally, time to review my today second favorite headphone, but actually this has been like a huge favorite for a year, and it's been a source of magic for my life, the Audeze LCD2C closed. Now I have actually all of the gear that I really liked in the past years is right here now. The Adam S2V, then the Chimera Nana 2.0, and then the Audio-Technica M40X. That's what it says at least. And I actually right now started thinking that they all share a very similar kind of characteristic actually. Of course their qualities and price ranges are entirely different, but they all have a dark kind of sound. None of them offer like too much high frequency information. The information they offer is very rich, but there's not a lot of that. It sounds a little bit dimmed, you know, and they all have like, at least, well, I wouldn't say that about them, but they kind of have this little bit of a bass, mid-bass emphasis, and they all have the kind of instrument separation where you feel that every two instruments are separated with a small little vacuum or like a bit of dark matter that you can actually hear between the instruments as well. And instead of shooting you with lots of high frequency information, they sound more like a studio where, you know, you step in and it can sound so quiet and so dim. If there's no music playing, or if you're speaking, it can feel a little bit muffled. But it's because there's no excessive echoes, so these are like very well-contained pieces of gear. I bought these about a year ago, and I went to the store. I was looking for new headphones up to $3,000 worth, and I was willing to make the investment of, you know, upgrading from these to seriously high-end studio or otherwise high-end gear. And I didn't find anything that felt good, because with so much of the famous high-end headphones, I felt as if I was getting like this plus some kind of a bonus, like this and more high frequency information, or this and better panning, it's just, I wasn't looking for this plus. I was looking for a whole new experience of music. And to me, these were the final ones I tried. I was already ready to give up and say, hey, my $80 headphones are more than enough for me. Fuck that, I'm never gonna go into high-end audio, until I found these. So what these changed for me is that they created a very kind of emotional and tangible sense of space, where every instrument, whereas with these headphones, it feels as if the entire track that's playing is just like one boom, 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 like one story. Every instrument and everything is just packed into this one little center where it's all just thrown at you, still in a good way for the price range, but every track feels as if there's like one thing that you're listening to. Whereas these, suddenly every instrument turned into a separate story. And of course it happened with other very expensive headphones too, but I felt that the other headphones that did that, they seriously lacked bass. I understand that for very analytical listening, where you have to look for the details, then it might be good that there's not much bass for a headphone, because then you hear out all the other things that you need to do, like little edits while making music, and then you can also search for this bass beneath there and look for little mistakes and correct them. That's fine. But that's not the only reason why I'm paying $1,000 for. Like, I want to enjoy music, I want to explore, I want these to take me for long walks, you know, these to motivate me to listen to more music, to make more music. And for that, they have to sound cool. And they have to sound enjoyable, and these sound thoroughly cool and enjoyable. they, due to them having like these huge drivers, as you can see on my head, they are pretty big, then they're able to recreate this kind of strong bass that I still like. Of course, it still has less bass than this, and the musicality of this bass is like from another world when you compare these two. I've put these headphones on people who are more into like, you know, just regular guys who like these kind of really bassy headphones and earphones. And, you know, their comment usually is that it's still lacking a bit of bass. Now, compared to the studio gear of this price range, then these have a lot of bass. So it's up to you to decide where you are in this, let's say, bass category. Are you the Beats by Dre kind of guy? Or, you know, are you looking for like still prominent amounts of bass, but to get the more musical version and maybe drop on the quantity a little bit? To me, with these, I started discovering that, you know, there actually is stereo separation in music, that some instruments are playing here, some here, some here, that there's movement. Like, sure, the cheaper earphones also give me that information if I know how to look for it. But coming from, you know, just being used to like stuff like this, then you don't even know to look for it. Like, it's just not a part of what you think music is. You know, like deep house with these is the kick and the bass. And, you know, then you change the kick and you change the pattern of the bass, and that's the next deep house track. Well, with these, it becomes all of the reverbs. It becomes the things moving left to right. It becomes like little volume changes in the hi-hats where suddenly it's turned like 2 dB louder and then 2 dB quieter. So it's a whole nother experience of music in that sense. And that's what I was looking for. I was not looking for like sharper hi-hats or more high frequency information, which is like, I don't know, do I have any objects to show it to you? Well, okay, let's just do it with my hand. If I get like more high frequency information, this is my previous experience of music. Let's call it this. This kind of flat, boring, but does its trick. So this is my previous experience of music. And now, let's say I get more high frequencies. So, I don't know, let's change it by that. Now, this is like, I get this really one peak of a new experience, but everything else remains to me at a similar level. And why would I pay 10 times more of that? I would rather buy an EQ and just boost like 8K until it hurts and I'll still get the detail. It just doesn't make sense for me. Whereas with these, it's more like, you know, it's an opening of a completely, like an opening of another space. It's an opening of another story where suddenly you get many layers here. And sure, like still, I don't have my fingers here like that, which symbolize the high frequency peak or the high frequency information. They don't have the most detail, but fuck that. I mean, just like this is a whole another planet that I'm taking myself to, and the fact that, I don't know, like the fact that it doesn't sound unrealistically detailed is not a negative thing. So I thoroughly enjoy these headphones, and I enjoy them because they feel relaxed. They sound relaxed, and they still have like a lot of detail when you look for it, but it's not forced on you. And they create a very immersive experience of music where you can really get lost. It feels exactly like you're in the middle of the orchestra. You are never listening to music. Your thoughts will stop. You will just be mesmerized, and you will experience as if you are inside of this thing, like the entire band is playing with you. You are one of the players. So they're very good at, you know, dropping out of reality in that sense that you forget that, you know, I'm in my living room right now. You disappear from the living room and suddenly you're surrounded by orchestras, by complex pads and synths, and by bands. And it's really really sort of, it has this satin kind of character, or this silky character, where it's all, you know, there's two ways of experiencing a band. One is going to a concert, and there you have all of these concrete walls, people are shouting, the band is playing as loud as possible. That's a lot of high frequency information. You have the screams, the sound of like beers dropping on the ground. You have the concrete walls, then the singer will between his vocals will shout like "fuck, sing along, bitches." Now, sure, it's a lot of information, but to me, it doesn't sound like quality. Whereas now we take the same band, not on a Friday night, but on like Tuesday when they're well rested, they're in a good condition, they might be sober. We take them to a studio that's worked super well, and then we let them play their thing there. This is how you experience these. Sure, it will sound darker, maybe softer, you might describe it as that, but to me it comes down to quality. Like this is where you are really able to separate things. And you know, one thing is about the hype. Like going to the band on a Friday, it's all about the hype that the crowd builds up and the anticipation. But this is the place where you sit back at the studio and you enjoy like the best freaking highest quality possible. So this is how I experience these headphones. They create an excellent sense of space, and you are within that space. You are never like, I had the Audeze LCD XC, which is like twice as expensive, way more detailed, but you never feel like you can touch the music. The music is incredibly intimate, it's incredibly close to you, but you're always like mentally disconnected from it. Well, here you lose the mental part at all, and you can just experience the music with the body and just let go and flow with it. I think for this price range and for this kind of headphones, they have quite a lot of bass, but then there's another bump in the mid frequencies, meaning that your experience of bass will mainly be about the character of different bass instruments. It's not going to be the ooh, but it's more going to be like, is this bass growl silky, or is it plasticky, or does it sound gooey, or does it sound like it has some metal characteristics to it? So you will hear a lot of characteristics from all of these bass instruments, and every now and then they're able to hit so low that you feel as if like the headphones are just like pushed back on your head, and it creates this kind of like very nice kind of vacuum, as if you were really shaken by the bass. There's a few tracks where I've had that experience, not many, but every time I get it, it just surprises me, because I've already forgotten how low and how hard they can hit, but if the track asks for it, then they do an excellent job. The high frequencies are relaxed, they're silky smooth. This is very much a pleasure listening headphone, and the high frequencies will never ever hurt or offend your ear, which to me is perfect, because then I can play them loud and still go into the detail and listen to the stories that this detail has to offer, but it's not forced on me. The best comparison would be with the FiiO FA9, which I recently tried and sent back because I didn't like it. And every review about the FiiO says they are the most detailed earphone FiiO ever made. Extremely accurate, super precise, studio quality, definitely in-ear monitors. So every review is saying that they do an excellent job representing detail. Now with these, every review says the opposite. They might even lack detail, their highs are very smooth, they might be like a little bit like pushed down on the frequency chart. Nobody's praising the highs of these. Now I guarantee you that these ones offer more high frequency information than the FiiO, which was described as extremely detailed and blah blah blah. Because the FiiO, you know, they give you an excellent like this attack of sounds, but you completely lose out on the story, you lose out on how the reverb sounds, how the space sounds, what room it was recorded in. You never get that experience. in music with them. So they're precise on paper because you see these fast transient capabilities and everything. But like if you go deeper, then that's not the precision we are looking for, you know. Like with these and with the $600 Fios and with these, with all of these headphones, you can say that the hi-hat that somebody just struck a hi-hat and you heard the sound of a hi-hat. We can all agree on that. But these ones, they might give you less of these first initial attacks, but they give you a whole story after that. Like what room was the hi-hat in? Which exact part was the hit? Like where did the drumstick, I don't know, do they call it drumsticks or are drumsticks what you eat with? Or either way, you can hit a freaking hi-hat with both of them. So which part did you hit it to? There's a different sound, you know. How hard did you hit it? There's a difference between every single little hit if it's not electronic music, but if somebody recorded a real instrument, then there are slight differences. And with these, your brain is very much focused on the after story, like the spaciousness, the difference between different cymbals. And then with these headphones or with the Fios, sure, every hi-hat and cymbal, it was very fast, like the transient attack, but they all came from the same place and they sounded very similar. Now here, I put these on and suddenly one was playing over here, the other one's playing over here. Now there's a third one playing over here, and you can hear the stories within each of these separately. Whereas with the Fio F9, it was just like hi-hat, 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 cymbal, cymbal, hi-hat, closed hi-hat, it felt like a machine gun. Whereas with these, sure, it feels softer, but there's a difference in every single little musical instrument played that's way better with these. So I would prefer the detail of these any other day. That's everything about how much I love them. They do have one downside. They are heavy. And at first I was optimistic about that, yeah, I want to take them for long walks and I want to enjoy music with them, and you can actually power these off of your smartphone as well, just saying that as large as they are okay to drive even with like smaller, less capable things. But anyway, they are heavy enough that in the end, after a few months of use, the optimism drops off and these will remain for home use. So that's the downside. I was really hoping that they would be something that will inspire me to go out and have long walks and spend time in nature, which worked for a while, but then it's just, you feel it on your neck. So either have a strong neck or just understand that they will remain for indoor use. They're not the kind of headphones that you want to take along. I think that's everything said by me. So if you have any questions, write to me. I'm a huge fan of these things, so we can find out together if you're thinking of buying them. We can find out together whether they're not for you or not. I always mess up the closing statement, don't I? Maybe I should just, just press stop when I don't have much more to tell, or maybe I should keep talking to get away from this situation where I messed up the last ending, so now I create new endings after endings to feel that I ended this video in a good way. Let me know. Have a great day. I had fun doing this review for you.